Hey, this is Barry, and we're picking up where we left off from the last video in setting up our WordPress sites. And they're really, really simple to do, as you can see by the first two videos, where we started with purchasing our domain. We logged in, we changed our name servers, we pointed them to our hosting account. Again, we do not really want to use GoDaddy as our host. There's, again, lots of reasons for that. I'm not going to get into them, but just far better to be hosting somewhere else than GoDaddy. They're fine for grabbing domain names from, but anyway, we went from there to connecting to our hosting account by changing our name servers. That was a real simple process. And then we went through the setup of WordPress, which was easy. And now we were here at our actual WordPress site. And we ended the last video where we showed just the basic install of WordPress and how the page looked. Now it's time to decide what we want to do as far as our theme. And that's going to be the layout for our page. What do we want our layout to basically look like? Now, disregard this Pro Styler theme. This is a purchased theme that I use for different things. I've used multiple themes that I purchased, but there's plenty of them that you can get for free at no cost that work just fine. When you want to install a new theme, you want to go look for a theme. You're going to go to Appearance, and you're going to go ahead and go up here and click on Add New. When you do that, it's going to go ahead and load up by default the featured WordPress themes. And these themes are just built by other people out there that design themes. They throw them in here for free. And it gives them a little bit of exposure back to themes that maybe they're selling. So, but either way, they don't cost anything. And there's all kinds of styles and layouts and directions you can go. One thing to keep in mind is that when you're looking at a theme, you're looking at the layout, not the graphics. Don't get caught up in this starry background and stuff. This doesn't come with it. This is just showing you how the theme is set up and designed. So when you put an image, the image is going to big image. You're going to put one here, and then you're going to have this layout below. In this case, you've got a menu over here on the right-hand side. You can kind of get a feel for how the theme is going to look. This one's more of a darker background. This one's got a menu on the left. This one's more for photography, so it's got images going across here that'll probably they're all clickable, go off to different places. So as you can see, lots of different layouts, a lot of familiar ones as well. This one here, you might catch your attention. Wow, this is pretty neat. But this background image doesn't come with the theme. It just says that you're going to put a background image of your choice behind your content, which is here, and this looks like the menu here. So let's say that you found one, you're like, hey, I kind of like this theme here. It's real simple, basic. I want to brand myself, so it's you can see you're going to put your name of your site or yourself, your personal name, whatever, and your menu is going to run across here, and this is light because I'm hovering over it. It darkens up a little bit there. You'll have some graphics here, and this may be a single image or maybe a slider. So maybe you want to install this theme and give it a try out. First, you can click the preview button, and again, this is where it's going to this gives you a really good idea of what it will look like when it's set up. Okay, and you just don't worry about this more tags. This is all stuff you're probably not ever going to worry about. Links, but it just gives you the basic layout of the page, and then you would click install, and it's going to go ahead and install it onto your system, and then it'll ask you to activate. I'm already set up with mine. I can click install, it doesn't matter. Install, and then I'll show you where it gets to be the activate thing. Okay, so now we're done there. Now, I would not click activate in my case because I already have an existing page that I'm building and I don't want to mess it up, but all you do is click activate and you're done. Okay, so now we can go ahead and close that out. And you'll see now, if I go back to themes, that we have added this theme that we can use. Now, if you don't like the theme, you start working with it, and you're like, I'm not too sure about this one. That's okay. It's just a matter of going and finding another one that you like and go ahead and activating it. I mean, I can come over here. I can activate this one. Let's say I don't want to use my Pro Styler anymore. I can activate this one. Now, you do have to be careful depending on what themes you're using. Like in this case, this theme does some very unique things, and if I went over here and clicked activate, it would mess up everything that I have already done from what I've worked on with here. But for the most part, if you're just using these basic themes you get off of WordPress, switching back and forth really won't do too much to mess up your site. It may change things up if you've got a slider and it won't display the slider. But as far as if you've already built out pages of content, it's not going to delete your content, your pages. You may have to just go back in and restructure the menu, reset things up, but it's not a big deal. So that's where you're going to find your themes, so you know now how to activate them. Go ahead and look for them, activate them. Well, let me jump back here to add new one more time here. This was under the featured option. You have popular, latest, favorites, and then if you want to get specific, you can click on the filter and say you just want a one-column page. You just want all your content to start from the top and go straight down. You don't want things on the side of your content or anything. You can look for themes that are just one column. You can look for themes that have custom background flexibility, so you can dictate what you want the background to be, and it'll just bring back the themes that have that option, or custom colors, or custom header, or whatever it may be. So you can bounce through these things and do some searching around, but there's no reason to run out there and spend money on purchasing a theme if you're going to go down that road because you're thinking, hey, I'm going to purchase a specific theme for something I'm doing. Keep in mind that that theme isn't necessarily going to work for you on the next project that you put together, the next site. So there's some alternatives to that rather than buying a specific theme. That's why I use this Pro Styler theme, because I can build all kinds of different styles with just one theme. But that's a topic for another day. If you have any questions about that, just contact me and I'll fill you in on that. Again, this is one option. So moving on from there, plugins is the other place you want to go. Plugins are basically little pieces of software that get installed on your WordPress to make your WordPress do some different things. Makes it easy to work with, real flexible. And by default, when you first install AskNet, this thing is always here. You probably, I don't know, you can look into it. I don't use it. Never really found a reason to. The biggest thing, or probably the most common one that you're going to wind up installing, is Contact Form 7. Because pretty much any site you set up, you're probably going to want to give people a way to contact you. Doesn't matter if you're selling something, if it's just a site where you're branding yourself. It doesn't matter what it is. Again, you want to give people a way to get hold of you. So Contact Form 7 is a really easy mail plugin. It just sets up a contact form. Matter of fact, the site that I'm working on now, I'm still working on this. We'll jump over. Actually, here's what it does. It puts up this contact form here with name, email, subject, the message, and you click the button. And you can change these fields around. Maybe you don't want, maybe you just want to do first name, email, and then just a button. You don't necessarily need a message. You can drop these two out. So there's some flexibility. But either way, this is what a contact form is. For people dropping their information, they click submit, and it'll send an email to whatever email address you want to go to. So there you go. And then on the contact page, which is typically what you have on every site. In this case right now, I'm building this out, just a simple statement and the forms there. So you get an idea where we're at there. Let's see. Other than that, they're really, if you're doing just a personal site, that's probably the only plugin you're really going to be concerned about. Depending on what you want to do as far as the look of your site, there may be some other things, but really keeping it at our basic level of getting started, that's it. Now, if you're going to do a site that has anything to do with selling items, anything you want to rank on Google, you want to be found in the search engines, then the other two basic plugins you're going to want to install are going to be Auto Terms of Service and Privacy Policy, and I'll show you how we find these here in a second, how we install them. But this is going to put a terms of service right here. You can see terms of service on your page, and this is just kind of the legal stuff. And again, and this is more for Google than anything else. People like to see it. It looks professional when it's there. Privacy policy. And this is already pre-written out for you. Just basically fill in some information, and it populates it throughout this content. The upside of this is it gives you a little bit of a tick. When it comes to SEO, Google likes to see that kind of stuff, especially when you're selling a product or a service. So this is just the old standby plugin you definitely want to just add in there. The other one is going to be an SEO plugin, and I prefer Yoast SEO over the all-in-one SEO, which is the one I used for years. And then I kind of flipped over to Yoast here lately because they've got some extra things that go on in the plugin that keep me from having to install additional plugins. So Yoast SEO, just my personal preference. You can use what you want, but it's definitely something you want to have installed on your site if you want any chance of getting ranked in the search engines. And SEO is a whole subject in itself, so I'm not going to get into that right now. If you guys need help with that, or it's something you guys say, hey, could you give us some SEO videos on what you do? I have my own methods that I use, and a lot of stuff I do is local, so it doesn't require quite the extensive effort that it does if you're trying to rank something for selling a yoga book or something, where there's a lot more competition. But certainly have a decent grasp on it. And I can tell you that the one big mistake a lot of people fall into when it comes to SEO, I'll leave you with this one tip. Don't drive yourself crazy buying into the theories of the people that are selling products based around SEO. I have bought into them, I have put them into play, I have tried them out, and at the end of the day, I have not really seen any huge bumps in my rankings. What I've found is the less that I do when it comes to all the goofy stuff they're out there telling you need to do, the better I rank, and I have yet to be penalized. For those people that are familiar with SEO at all, Google does updates that kind of go out there and search around and see kind of what people are doing, that maybe they're gaining the system by you putting into place some certain strategies, and all of a sudden people's sites just wind up being de-indexed by Google. I've never had that happen, where a lot of people who have bought into these crazy SEO ways of doing things, all of a sudden their sites are gone because they're doing stuff that's kind of tricking Google, for the easiest way to put it, and it comes back to bite them in the butt. So anyway, but definitely an SEO plugin if you're going to want to do anything to rank. And we'll get into that. You can get a hold of me, let me know, hey, definitely we want some videos on SEO. So really that's about it. There's not much else that's involved in setting up your site. Oh, let me show you how to install plugins. We have to do that. All we're going to do is click add new, just like we did as far as the themes. We would go over here and do a search. So let's say I'm looking for SEO plugin. I just do SEO. If I didn't know the name of the plugin, I just SEO, and SEO comes up here. You see one here, and you'll start to drop down and see more of them. What you see is some ranking. You see some stars here, ratings. You see that this one here has got 20,000 active installs. SEO by Squirrely. I'm not familiar with this one. Looks like some people are finding it to be pretty cool and pretty useful, and that's good. I'm pretty happy with the one I have. Kind of pay attention to that. If you see if you're looking through these plugins because you're thinking, hey, maybe I want something I can do something with images on. So you just put in images. You can put that in there. Let's see what comes back. Okay, the first one that pops up has 400 plus active installs, but it's only got a 1-star rating. Probably not something I'm going to pay much attention to, versus here's image watermark. This is just basically for marking your images if somebody comes and steals them, but it has 20,000 plus active users, got some pretty good star ratings. You kind of want to pay attention to that. Here's one that has no star ratings. I pretty much just skip over the ones with no star ratings, and there's not a lot of people that have installed it. I pay more attention to the ones that are a lot more popular. So simple matter of picking one and then just going install now. So if I was going to install the watermark one here, I'd click install now. It's going to go ahead and do its thing here, install, and then I would click activate. I'm not going to activate this plugin because I haven't looked into it, but that's as easy as it gets. If I wanted more details on this particular plugin before I click the install, go right here and view details. Sometimes, and that's a good habit to be in, because a lot of times with these plugins, you're going to see, hey, this looks really good, until you get to the part where it says upgrade, and then basically what you're getting is a really watered down version of a plugin that does a fraction of what it says it can do, or what you think it can do. But if you purchase the upgrade, then it gives you everything. So I'm finding that more and more with plugins. You're seeing that that's the way these guys are making money. And certainly not knocking them for wanting to make money, but it's just something you need to be aware of, that a lot of them now are giving you a little basic version and encouraging you to upgrade and spend money with them. So just be aware of it. If it's justified, go ahead, spend the money if it's something you feel like you can certainly use. Take a quick look at the ratings, make sure there's nothing sticking out there. As long as everything's good and you like what you see, then go ahead and install and give it a shot. It's not going to hurt your site. The one thing I absolutely have to keep you, let you know that when it comes to plugins especially, you definitely need to keep them updated, and you will see. So I don't have that. I don't have that. Yes, I do. Hang on one second. Let me go to plugins. As you can see right here, it says there's a new version. Okay, you want to go ahead and update those. Either if they're delete them if you're not going to use them, get them out of here. If you're going to leave them in here, one thing you do want to do, make it a habit of go ahead and updating them. So like in this case, just click update now. The reason they update them is because the bad guys out there in the internet world find vulnerabilities in these plugins. That's part of the reason. Now, a lot of times they're just adding new features and updating things, and because new versions of WordPress come along, they have to update their plugins so that they work with the latest version of WordPress. But the other most important reason is a lot of times vulnerabilities are found, and it's a way for hackers to get into your site and mess things up. And trust me, it's no fun when that happens. I have had that happen in the past. So I'm telling you from personal experience, it's a nightmare when somebody gets in here and they mess with your site, and then it winds up screwing you up in Google, because Google won't display your site because it finds out that you've got some kind of a virus or something in there. So I'll go ahead and click update now on the slider. So just make it a point whenever anytime you see a little notice here that shows that a little circle like here, I've got comments, it'll show something like this right here. Just be aware and go in and go ahead and update those plugins. And that just keeps you from anything bad happening, and it ensures that the plugins work with the latest versions of WordPress. So that's going to about wrap it up for this video. I know this ran on a little bit long, but we're moving along here. And in the next videos, we can get more into actually creating the pages and your basic setup of how to add pages, go to your menu, things like that. So I'm going to wrap this video up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next ones.